Hey guys, welcome back to the Curly Reader. My name's Amanda, and today I want to share with you some of the books that I'm so excited that'll be coming out in the first part of 2021. So I typically don't follow new releases really closely, but I got to looking at some of the books that are coming out this year, guys, and there's some good ones that I am super excited about. So I thought that I would share with you some of the books I'm most excited about coming out in January, February, or March of 2021. So there's a number of books on this list. These are all of the YA and adult books that I am most anticipating. I have another video that is all of the middle grade books that I am most anticipating because there were a number of books on that list as well, because you guys all know I love my middle grade. But I do have some YA and adult ones that I am super excited for as well. And so let's just get into this. These will be in order of release date, and I am going to be sharing with you mostly synopses that I'm reading because I don't know a lot about a lot of these other than what I've already read from the synopsises, whatever. All right, so first one that I have on my list comes out January 5th, and that is Our Darkest Night by Jennifer Robson. I'm pretty sure Jennifer Robson is the one that wrote The Gown, if I'm not mistaken. And this book is set during World War II, and it says, to survive the Holocaust, a young Jewish woman must pose as a Christian farmer's wife. And it's just about that, and it's inspired by true events. And that's all I really needed to know. This one, it sounds so good. And I really like The Gown, so I know I like Jennifer Robson's writing. All right, one that comes out on January 12th is by Melanie Benjamin. She writes a lot of historical fiction, and this one is called The Children's Blizzard, and it follows the Children's Blizzard of 1888. There was a freak blizzard that struck the Great Plains, and it's called The Children's Blizzard. So it follows that blizzard in 1888, and it was this blizzard that happened that it was like a fairly warm morning, and so nobody was any the wiser. They sent their kids to school. They weren't in their warmest gear or anything like that. And then right around the time that school let out, this freak, really fast-moving blizzard hit, and it says that like teachers as young as 16 were faced with life and death decisions. Do they keep the kids at school and risk freezing to death when they ran out of fuel, or do they try to send them home and hope that they get there? And so it's just, it's a crazy thing that actually happened. And so anyway, this one sounds super good, and it'll be a good winter read as well. All right. One that's coming out on February 2nd is called The Kindest Lie by Nancy Johnson. And this is set in 2008 at the rise of Barack Obama, and it ushers in a new kind of hope. In Chicago, Ruth Tuttle, an Ivy League educated Black engineer, is married to a kind and successful man. He's eager to start a family, but Ruth is uncertain. She's never gotten over the baby she gave birth to and abandoned when she was a teenager. She had promised her family she'd never look back, but Ruth knows that to move forward, she must make peace with the past. So she returns home, and she discovers the Indiana factory town of her youth is plagued by unemployment, racism, and despair. While her family is happy to see her, they remind her of the painful sacrifices to give Ruth a better shot at a better future, like the comfortable middle-class life she enjoys now. And so it has to do with Ruth like digging into her past. She's uncovering secrets. And then she befriends a young white boy, and then something happens, and it's a lot of that. It says that it examines the heartbreaking divide between Black and white communities and plumbs the emotional depths of the struggles faced by ordinary Americans in the wake of financial crisis. So, my husband actually grew up in an Indiana factory town, so I'm wondering if this might be set in his hometown. But that one sounded very interesting. All right. Another one that comes out on February 2nd. You guys, I am so excited about this. I read the synopsis for this, and I'm like, yes, please. I'm pretty sure this is YA. Pretty sure it's fantasy, whatever. It sounds so good. This is Muse by Brittany Cavallero. And it says American Royals meets Winner's Curse. This is the first book in a new duology that is set in an alternate history American monarchy where a girl grapples for control of her own life in the middle of a looming war. It's set in 1893, and a war is brewing in the first American kingdom. But Claire has a bigger problem. While her father prepares to reveal the mighty weapon he's created to showcase the might of their province, St. Cloud, in the World's Fair, Claire is crafting a plan to escape. Claire's father is a sought-after inventor, but he believes his genius is a gift granted to him by his daughter's touch. He's kept Claire under his control for years. As St. Cloud prepares for war, Claire plans to claim her life for herself, even as her best friend Beatrix tries to convince her to stay and help with the growing resistance movement that wants to see a woman on the throne at any cost. You guys, doesn't that sound so good? I cannot wait. That sounds so good on so many levels. Oh, I can't wait. All right, another one coming out on February 2nd is The Project by Courtney Summers. I loved Sadie by Courtney Summers, but that's the only book I've ever read from her. And this sounds like another like suspense type book. And I think this one has to do with cults. And it's like this girl who is trying to prove that they're up to something. I don't know. It just sounds so good. I can't. I'm excited. Guys, I'm just excited. It's an exciting time for books. There's also another book coming out by Neal Shusterman, who wrote the Arc of the Scythe series that I loved. Game Changer comes out on February 9th. And this has to do, I think, with alternate universe or alternate dimensions. It says all it takes is one hit on the football field and suddenly Ash's life doesn't look quite the way he remembers it. Impossible though it may seem, he's been hit into another dimension and keeps on bouncing through worlds that are almost but not really his own. So I don't really know. I don't know if I'm gonna like this one or not, but I love Scythe, so I'm willing to give it a shot. All right. And then another one that comes out on February 9th is The Paris Library. This is by Janet Skilslian Charles, and it is another World War II historical fiction that is based on the story of the heroic librarians at the American Library in Paris. And so, Paris 1939. It just follows these librarians in Paris. And then I guess it's dual timeline as well, because there's also a timeline in 1983 Montana. I saw Paris Library, World War II, and I'm like, check, done. All right, so then I have two more, both that come out on March 23rd. The first is The Ladies of the Secret Circus by Constance Sayers. I saw Secret Circus in Paris 1925, and I was sold. That's pretty much all I knew. This is another dual timeline. It looks like there's another timeline that is in Virginia of 2005. I don't know why authors always do this, where it's like Europe in the early 1900s or during the war, and then in the United States in like current day. I don't know why it has to be set in the United States too, but whatever. I'm not the one writing the books. So in Paris, it says, to enter the secret circus is to enter a world of wonder. A world where women tame magnificent beasts, carousels take you back in time, and trapeze artists float across the sky, but each daring feat has a cost. Bound to her family's strange and magical circus is the only world Cecile Cabot knows, until she meets a charismatic young painter and embarks on a passionate love affair that could cost her everything. And then in Virginia 2005, Laura Barnes is on the top of the world until her fiancé disappears on their wedding day. Desperate, her search for answers unexpectedly leads to her great-grandmother's journals and sweeps her into the story of a dark circus and a generational curse that has been claiming payment from the women in her family for generations. That sounds so good. I'm excited for all of these guys. All right. And then last but not least, also releasing on March 23rd is Lost in the Neverwoods by Aidan Thomas. This is YA. I don't know if this is YA or middle grade, but it seems like it would be more YA. It might be kind of a combination. or it might bridge that gap. But it says, when children go missing, people want answers. When children go missing in the small coastal town of Astoria, people look to Wendy for answers. This is a Peter Pan retelling. It's been 5 years since Wendy and her two brothers went missing in the woods, but when the town's children start to disappear, the questions surrounding her brother's mysterious circumstances are brought back into light. Attempting to flee her past, Wendy almost runs over an unconscious boy lying in the middle of the road and gets pulled into the mystery haunting the town. Peter, a boy she thought only lived in her stories, claims that if they don't do something, the missing children will meet the same fate as her brothers. In order to find them and rescue the missing kids, Wendy must confront what's waiting for her in the woods. I'm sorry. I'm all in for a Peter Pan retelling. I love Peter Pan. It's probably one of my favorite fairy tale stories, or like Disney stories, whatever. So yeah, I am game for this one. All right, that's all I got, guys. Those are my selections of books that I am super excited about that are coming out January, February, March of 2021. So if you've heard of these, if you're excited about these, let me know. I will try to link them down below in the description box if I can. And yeah, what books are you looking forward to that are coming out this year? I know there are some that I'm very excited about that are coming out later in the year, which I will share with you as time comes. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for me for today. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that you stick around and subscribe. And until next time, see ya.